Hi everybody, I hope you're doing marvellously well. We'll do something a little different here because yes, we're going to try out a couple of new plugins. I've never done this before. I'm trying out plugins made by a guitar pedal company, and that would be Wampler. So I'm very excited to try out Wampler's plugins because they're based on pedals. Why would you think that that's a smart thing? Well, I think it's a smart thing because guitar players like myself, we're used to leaning down and adjusting, and so it has to be really, really straightforward and easily laid out, and you just twist 2 or 3 knobs and you get the sound really quickly. So I'm optimistic that each one of those presets is going to have, each one of those pedal emulations, as it were, is going to have something familiar that I love and that I can tweak really super quickly, just like I would while playing a show or in a studio doing a session. You don't want to spend 20 minutes getting your guitar sound up when you're playing with 5 other musicians in a room. You've got to be able to get on it really super quickly. So I'm optimistic on that. Remember, this is a 7-day free trial is what we're trying. So try that. Do the 7-day free trial and see if it works for you. And of course, you can win one of 3 copies of each of these plugins. So enter down below to win. So I've taken 2 of their pedals, the Metaverse and the Terraform. One of these is a delay plugin, an echo, multi-tappy kind of thing, which I think has lots of kind of emulations. And the other one is, well, something that I think there is a shortage of, believe it or not, and that is a modulation plugin. Now, you're probably thinking there's tons of modulation plugins out there. I suppose there is, but one of the things that I've always found lacking, and if you've ever watched the videos over the years, is good phaser plugins, like really good ones, and good flanger plugins. I know there's a couple, and please, put them down below again. I remember I think it was called PH1 phaser. Remember the Roland one, the big clunky looking one? That sounded so good. And of course there was the Small Stone as well, which sounded amazing. And I can never get that sound inside of my DAW, or at least not close enough. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm excited to hear whether their phaser pedal emulation is going to give me that sound on a vocal, on a drum kit, on whatever. I've got a song here by Little Empire. You've probably heard this before if you've watched the channel. It's called Battle Cry. And I'm going to try it in various different things. Probably not just obviously guitars, but on drums and vocals and keys and things like that, and just see what they're all about. Now, when they sent this to us to try, they did say for the pedal owners, if you buy the pedal, if you're a guitar player, you get the plugin for free. And I think the plugins on their own are about $50, like $49.99. We'll have all of the links and stuff down below, and you can try them for yourself. So they're relatively affordable. I mean, there's a lot more expensive plugins like that out there. Let's see if they are good. I'm going to go to the website. The reason why I'm going to the website is because we're filming this before the release. So I'm going to look at the pedal itself, because obviously the pedal and the plugin are the same. So here's the Metaverse pedal. It says, comprising 11 of Brian Wampler's favorite delays. Okay. There's a full-featured, small footprint stomp box that is fully programmable, preset capable, has stereo inputs and outputs, allows full MIDI control. I'm not going to get into MIDI today. I just want to see what it sounds like. Has an expression input, etc., etc. It says just like the Terraform that came before it. So the Terraform is the other plugin. So delay, feedback, tone, modulation, mix, tap tempo. I like tap tempo. Pedal looks kind of cool. Maybe I should ask them to get me a pedal. I think the pedals are like $300 or something like that. So maybe I'll stick with the $49.99 for the plugin. Or if I get the pedal, I suppose I'll get the plugin for free. Hey. All right, so let's start with that. Let's go and listen to the Metaverse. And I don't see what those presets are, but my guess is, if they're emulating other pedals, they probably aren't saying what they are, if you know what I mean. They don't want to get themselves into trouble, maybe. All righty, so let's have a listen to a bit of this track. This is a very rough mix of this song. One of the main things about that song was it was being driven by that Who kind of part. And it's panning. I've got a decapitator on it. Here's the part.
Out on
want to put some delays on that. There's a little distortion there from the decapitator. I actually like that. So let's go and grab, we'll go down to Wampler here. We just loaded it in. Let's open up the Metaverse, see if it's resizable. Oh yeah, it is. Woohoo! Okay. And that's a big deal for a lot of people. They want it to be resizable. Okay, so I'm going to tap the tempo. It probably syncs immediately to it, but I actually prefer to tap tempo because if it's slightly out of time, to be honest, I think that gives it a little bit more feel and groove. You know, in our digital world, when everything is exactly right, it sounds like poop to me. Like that, you know, I want it to be a little draggy. You know, the volume swells that I did on that and the auto pan that I had on that organ sound was all a little bit lazy and late. So if the tap tempo is slightly out, I'm not going to have a problem with it. So let's listen to the track and tap tempo. So I just manually tapped it. Okay, so it looks like our first setting there is analog. Let's give it a listen. It's got that sort of decaying quality, being analog. If I go to the digi, it's probably going to be, one would expect it to be absolutely perfect. So have a quick listen to that. Yeah, you hear all the hair and the edge on it. Not a big fan of that. I much prefer tape and analog delays in this situation. I think if I was trying to take a simple, dumb kind of ding, 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 ding guitar part and make it go and make it sound like I was playing a more complex part, then I'll go digital, because then what it will sound like is, as I said, I'm playing a more complex part. But I want this to be a delay. Okay, so we go to the analog. So if I highlight over the mod here, I've got depth and rate. So let's have some fun with that. I love that modulation. And to be honest, that's already pretty awesome. Let's see how it makes the track feel. But it's closer to what I was hearing on my head when we first tracked this song. Sorry, bypassed. So, okay, at the moment it's a good analog, you know, emulation delay. And we've cranked the feedback, so it's lasting a long time. We've got modulation, and the depth is quite strong, and the actual modulation rate's quite strong, but it's still only 50-50 mix, so we got a lot of the original sound in there. I haven't messed with the tone. Obviously, we can make it darker. Let's do that. Let's see what other delays are in here. What's the wet? Slightly different harmonic overtone, might be easy to hear it on a vocal. We can try that in a minute. BBD. Oh yeah. jet. It seemed to be enhancing different frequencies. I like this. DOC. Oh, this is good. Oh yeah. That. TE. Mid-rangey, like low, middly, thicker. Oh, that's nice. That's obviously modulation. I don't know which one it is. So I'm assuming ETH is electro-harmonics. Electro-harmonics. This one that's mod is great. Space Echo, I suppose. Space, SPC. Tape. Back to analog. Obviously, tape could be anything because we have space echoes, but obviously the other one is a space echo. But of course, we have copycats and echoplaxes. I don't see anything with COP or anything like that for copycat, but really, really cool. There's this BBD I love, and the mod. Play with the mod. Probably a bit much, but it's here in the track. For a completely different part, that'd be amazing on some kind of electric rhythm, maybe, or something. You know, I've had like a little funky kind of thing going on. Hey, I'm going to go back to the analog here. I'm going to bring the mod back down. But very, very cool. Now the trails, let's see what that does. I'm going to try on another instrument as well. There seem to be subtle differences, but I actually don't know without, you know, maybe reading the manual and trying it on different sources, because it's not making a huge amount of difference on that source. But very, very cool. So a cool delay. I want to hear it on a vocal. But I do like the initial one we set up. Isn't that what always happens? But that's great. The default sounds great. So let's go to Lily's vocal. And I'll see what delays I'm already using and swap it out. I'm going to tap the tempo. It's been the end for ages. Got it on space echo at the moment, at least what I think is space echo. Let me crank it up a little bit more. It's a little low at the moment. Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet. We had an Echo Boy on there before, which of course is great. Has saturation built into it, where this doesn't, but that may or may not be a problem. You can always saturate it. It is a guitar pedal delay plugin, so, you know, that's going to have its own thing anyway, so see if we like it. Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet.
It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to?
So what I'm going to do is I'll send it pre-fade, I'll mute the vocal sub, and we'll just listen to the effect on its own.
It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave the road? Out all you want about angels. I haven't one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave it?
Okay, I like the lo-fi of this jet, and also by muting the lead vocal itself, you can hear the effect is quite different.
It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave the road? Out all you want.
Now, obviously you can save presets here, but I like that already.
All you want about angels, I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave the road? Out all you want about angels, I haven't met one.
I like this for the verse vocal. My gut is I would use two different delays from here. That jet one there is really, really kind of cool because it's narrowed, and I think it makes it just seem a little bit more dangerous in the verse vocal.
Out all you want about angels, I haven't met one.
The track again.
Out all you want about angels, I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave the road?
Delay's great on those keys, isn't it? Okay, I mean, I think it's a good one to add to your arsenal because it's got, you know, very distinctive delay types. I want to go on to the phaser. I did notice on the website that they have a 7-day free trial. So what I would do is I would download it for free and try it out for 7 days and see if it makes your mixes. If it's something that, you know, it becomes indispensable, then get it. It's as simple as that. That's really the defining thing, isn't it? Try it out for free on your own and find out whether it's something that you just can't live without. Okay, I want to get the drums going here. I want to try something. See, I have a loop. I have some loops going here. Now there's a hat, very low. Very, very low, but maybe it could come up if it had a phaser on it. Now it's loud. Okay, let's have some fun with it. So I'm going to grab we can do a host sync here. Okay, I already like it. blend, feedback. It's making that more interesting. Mute it. I don't know, it just makes it more interesting for me. Never would have thought to put it on a hi-hat until I saw it. Take it off. Back on. It's subtle, but it's cool. It's subtle but cool. Okay, let's find a guitar that we could have some fun with. But you know what? I've got that, and I've got a reverb on it. Why don't I enact the delay? So when I played that, I was never anticipating anything I could do with it like I'm going to do. So let's take the volume automation off. I love having DIs to do stupid things with. Go to stereo. So it's already making it interesting. It's a tip I've done so many times in videos. If you do print a DI, you can do one of two things. If you've got a lot of distortion on it and you're having a hard time trying to get the guitar part to kind of glue, there might be a couple of notes that are out. Having a trans-in on a DI really, really helps. It can help you nudge it around and give you some kind of indication of where the strike is happening. Because sometimes a lot of players are kind of, they kind of like fluff it. They don't hit it super hard, or aggressively or succinctly. So, but the best thing about having a DI is this. Now I can blend that overdriven sound back in with the DI with this effect on it. It just goes to prove something. You don't necessarily have to have more parts. You can take your existing parts and have some fun with them. So that effect on the DI in stereo behind the printed distorted guitar that I did, which I'd already put some verb on, really makes a pretty generic guitar part. It is something really kind of cool. When I was a kid, that was lexicons and really delays and phasers and flangers and units and all that kind of stuff, and thousands of pounds, dollars that I didn't have. And now it's a $49.99 pedal emulation. Even with that terrible mistake. Phaser. Now, there's an auto wire here, which I absolutely love, auto wires. I'm not going to try it on this guitar. Let's try it on something else. Auto wires are awesome. I'm also going to bring down the Who keyboards a little bit because they're overpowering everything. I got a little bit carried away when we were trying it out. So let's see what else we've got around. Okay. Okay, so I've got a little bit of Echo Boy already on this. So let's flip it out. I really like it. Put the thing back up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put auto wire on the other one. That BBD really thickens it up. So I'm going to turn up the other guitar we created with the Metaverse on the right. Listen to the bass. Also, here it comes. Here it comes. There was a Boss auto wah, which if it says that Brian was, sampling, or is that the right word, emulating his favorite pedals. It's got to be that. I love the auto wah. It's such a good pedal. Okay, let's mess with it. High pass, low pass, bypass. Like in bypass. Bring the blend down a bit. Bypass. Back on. Very, very cool. Fun with delays and modulation. So I'm enjoying them. There's a lot of different plugins out there. There's a lot of things that do delays, and there's a lot that do modulation. As I said, phaser is a big deal for me. The auto wire and the phaser both sound great on the Terraform. The Metaverse, the analog delay, the first one that defaults to, was kind of my favorite. I do like the space. That BBD, I think it was, is really awesome. And then the harm. I do like just, when you're in a studio, you like to reach over and control a compressor or an EQ or whatever, and you like to be able to turn two knobs and get a good sound. You don't have the time in tracking a band to get into drop-down menus and all that kind of stuff. So there's a bit of goodness in this, is that I can actually go to different presets, or not even presets, but different sounds, and immediately decide where it's the right kind of timbre that I'm after, and then tweak it from there. So that's good. So that's going to really, really help you a lot. Again, try the 7-day free trial to make sure it works for you. This is something I think that's going to be good for the arsenal if the flange is great. That's my big thing. So what I've done here is I've duplicated the auxiliary. So I'm just going to mute the delay a second and call it flanger. Sorry, I'll stop making that joke. I know it's silly, but it's my memory of being in a music store. And I'm just going to go straight away to the flanger.
Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave Earth about? I can't escape the thought that you're not here. Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave Earth about? I can't escape the thought that you're...
A good flanger for me should be able to work where I want my vocal widening effect to go. So if I now unmute that sub, I won't put the delay in quite yet, but this is just a vocal sub now, and listen to it with the flanger.
Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet.
Mute.
It's been the end
Back in.
for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave Earth about? I can't escape the thought that you're not here. Shout all you want.
It's nice. It's not completely over the top. It's not as crazy as some can get. It doesn't have that crazy resonance, but I can play with it a little bit more. But what I do like about it is it's going to do that same thing that the vocal thickening does. And a lot of people use flangers specifically for that. There's a lot of classic records in the 70s that have flangers on vocals that you don't even know were there. All right, so let's put the Metaverse delay in as well.
Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just ride this one out. What's the hurry to leave Earth about? I can't escape the thought that you're not here. Shout all you want about angels. I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages. I'll just...
Great ear candy.
Hey everyone, Joe Carroll here, going to give the new Wampler pedal plugins a go. I feel like instead of doing guitars, maybe we make it about more producers and engineers and mixers, because I do use some of these effects from guitar pedals. In fact, I have a big rack of guitar pedals just sitting over here ready to patch in during mixing for various special effects and delays and things like that. So that said, we have Terraform, which is 11 different types of modulation. And we have Metaverse, which is 11 different types of delays. So that said, why don't we just listen to this song that I have? My friend Missy was on my mind today because I just sent a song of hers to mastering and got it back to listen to. So when I knew I was going to do this demo, I thought, well, gosh, let's show Missy a little love. So this is a song from her that I did a couple years ago, and and I opened it today, and there's tons of missing plugins and things. It's not the exact mix, but it's going to be close enough to get started for the purpose of this demo. So let's give it a listen.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me one last time. Drive me one last time. Oh.
Okay, so a handful of things. I took the delays off of her vocals, so we're going to put Metaverse on, which is the delay. And we're going to kind of focus on the sounds of the delay on a vocal for just a moment here. And let's make sure we are synced to the host right here. Let's do quarter eighths rather, and let's see what we got here.
And I want you to.
Let's lower the feedback a little.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive.
Let's go to 16ths.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me one last time. Drive me one last time.
So we can hear they get brighter as we go. We start here really kind of rich and dark.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me one last time. Drive me one last time. Oh, and
that one echo there, I should. That's probably something that's already printed in there. So just ignore that real long throw.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me one last time. Drive.
We can hear that it gets, the definition, the hi-fi thing just gets more and more prominent as we go clockwise, and we start over here, and it's a little gritty, it's a little dark. But the cool thing is we do have a tone knob. So even if I use something a little on the, the brighter side of the scale here, I can darken it.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me.
In fact, that's a real nice setting right there. Let's use feedback.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me one last time. Drive me one.
Let's hear that in the mix.
And I want you to take my wheels and drive me one.
Let's go somewhere in the verse to where we can, a little more room.
Long drive, trying to stay in my lane. Hard time.
And what we could do is let's combine that with a second option, and let's go darker, and let's see what we got there.
Long drive.
We'll slow down the repeats.
Long drive, trying to stay in my lane. Hard time.
And we'll take the mix down a little bit so we hear just a little less of that.
Long drive, trying to stay in my lane. Hard times, with your face in my mind again.
All right, cool. I like it. I mean, it's just really easy to use, which is a big one for me. One thing that I like about some delays, think of Echo Boy, something like that, is that, it's cool to have just a sound and you want it, something like a space echo, and hey, that's the thing. And if I open that plugin, I'm looking for exactly that sound. But something I like about some plugins like this one is the fact that I have 11 options right here ready to go. So if I bring something up and I want to tailor it a little bit, I can just kind of start flipping through these right here until I find the one that kind of fits the mood of the song. Being able to do that without opening new plugins, just turning this knob or clicking on one of these functions. And also one thing, it looks like the real guitar pedal here because I've seen these before. But for some of us that it's like, well, we're not guitar players. That's not what we want. We can bring it up and make it look like a rack unit here, which is cool. It's a little more like, what some of us are used to seeing. Let's listen to something else in this track and see what else we would do. Okay, so we got that kind of a thing. So it's got some spring reverb on it, but it doesn't have any delay. And I think it should. So let's do this. Let's bring up the Wampler. Let's do this in mono. Oh, I brought up the Terraform. I need the Metaverse. So here we go. Mono. And let's take it and sync it to the host. Okay, I like that. Let's take the feedback down. And let's get a little brighter. Okay, now let's hear that in the track.
Hard times with your face in my.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool. So again, it's quick and easy. If I didn't like that, if I wanted it to be a little bit darker, you know, I just go up here and do this. Or a little brighter, rather. Then I can get really bright. Kind of like that dark. Okay, so let's see. What else kind of thing would I do here? Okay, I've got these big patty background vocals. That automation there so we can turn it up as loud as we want to. Okay, something that I do with modulation on background vocals sometimes, and this is a little trick I really haven't talked much about, but it nonetheless is something that I do and I've done for years. I'm trying to think of who I saw do it for the first time so I could give them proper credit. I don't remember, but they use flanging or phasing on background vocals subtly. So let's check this out. Okay, so here's the background vocals as is. Just a big pad kind of thing. So to create a little interest and a little depth, so we can, you know, do a handful of different things. Remember, we have 11 choices of modulation here. And let's do this. Let's sync it to the host. And okay, let's start with quarter notes so we can really, really hear it. Hear that's just a cool thing to do on background vocals. Let's take it to a half note. And then what you can do there is you can just turn the depth down or the blend down a little bit until you get it to the spot where you really like it. So before and after. It's just a pretty chord, but now we can put just a little bit of swim, just a little bit of motion to it. Kind of a fun trick. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I like, that's a very good sounding phase as well. Let's put it on some other things we can hear it a little more prominently, something not quite as patty. What we got going on. Ooh, let's try it on this pad here. That could be a fun thing to mangle just a just a little bit. So let's bring it up here. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it and I'm going to change it to the rack view. Just because, again, I think a lot of our friends out there are not guitar players and they're like, I want to see it a little different, which is great. So let's see what we have here. I don't actually hate that. I mean, it's way too hot, but let's see. Pretty cool. Okay, so here it is in bypass. So that's the Leslie rotary speaker kind of trick. Again, another fantastic trick. There's dedicated plugins for this, but I like that I can get it right here alongside of flanging and chorusing and other kind of things. Let's really adjust the stereo feel. Yeah, that's very cool. Let's mute all the vocals for now so we're not hearing. Yeah, just a little motion is a good thing. Random is good in mixing. There's a time and a place in certain forms of music where we want everything to stay the same. You know, this instrument is in this spot, this vocal's in this spot, the reverb never changes, the delays never change if we're even using delays. And then, you know, a lot of other forms of music, there's a lot more room for experimentation and sound field craziness and wackiness, and you know, keeping a listener's interest in some of these tracks that are very dense and very repetitive, like a lot of pop music. And some of these tools are fun tools to be able to really keep a listener, you know, immersed in things that are going on, especially when they're wearing earbuds, you know, the ear candy kind of thing. Okay, so let's do this. So we had the delay on the one guitar. Let's do Terraform here, and let's see what kind of things we will want to throw at it here. That's kind of cool. Let's slow that down to a half note. Okay, now let's take the blend way down. Versus okay, cool. It's just, you know, fun randomizing kind of things. You know, something else? Why don't we do this in drum world? Let's bring up the kick, the snare. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put it in sync, and let's start off with an 8th. Okay, so now let's hear with something transient rich like a snare drum, where we can really hear how round the attack and bright the attack, or non-bright and you know, sharp or dull the delay actually is. I think this would be a fun test. I really like that one. Again, something that a lot of people don't do very often, but nonetheless, sometimes it's the right call. Put just a little bit of something in some program, especially programmed. I mean, I occasionally I do this on real snare drums as well, but sometimes in pop, you know, you get just some kind of a sterile sound and loop, and you're looking for something you can do, even if it's just in sections of the song, to create some kind of excitement or something that's different. Maybe just one break, like I can put it on, but only unmute it for one bar or something. And this is the kind of thing that would be, you know, at my disposal to do this, because instead of bringing up, because one of my favorite tools is a bucket brigade style delay, the BBD here. But you know, in hearing it, I really liked this one. But because all 11 are right here at my fingertips, you know, I can just really spread my love around here and see what I like best. I think it's that one. That's really cool. Very cool. A lot of fun. Let's see what else kind of thing. You know what? Okay, we're here to have fun, so that's what we're going to do, by gosh. because again, that's in addition to the standard guitar thing that we discussed, where these are just vital tools to the sound of a guitar. For the rest of us, if we're putting these on drums and vocals and everything else, it's just for fun and uniqueness. And so that said, let's be unique here. Okay. Ooh, okay, so a little bit of an envelope filter. Let's try an auto wah. Okay, okay, this is gonna be cool. Okay, without it. With it. It's like, it still sounds like a hi-hat, but it's like there's another kind of loop going along with it that's just perfectly in tempo. Check that out one more time. That's really fun. All right, so that's a little hi-hat fun. Let's see, what else could we have fun with? I produced this, and when we recorded it, we did a lot of stuff. We we're going for a thing. Okay, let's try Terraform on that. So it's already got some really strong tremolo that we printed on it, but let's try some modulation effects too. Here we go. That flange is cool. Without. With. Maybe a bit much, maybe a bit, too much, but that's okay. I can just back it down. I just really want I just really want to hear the sound of the boxes. One more time, without it. Okay, it's cool because of the tremolo, but this gives it a little something else. We can slow that down. Very cool. What kind of other sounds? The phaser would definitely be the thing for this this particular guitar. The thing about these kind of things is really just what I mentioned, just ease of use. So I've got a whole bunch of sounds just within one plugin, and I do use this stuff really regularly, and even if it's just subtly on background vocals, like the flanger phaser trick I was showing you, or just a touch of motion on something. But you can really transform percussion loops, as we saw with the hi-hat and the snare drum. So it's just a lot of fun. Again, these are new and available from Wampler pedals. And so get your demo, see what you think. All right, guys? All right, happy mixing.
They're a lot of fun. What I highly, highly recommend is you try them out on a 7-day free trial. Or buy the pedal if you're a guitar player and get the plugin for free. But try it on a 7-day free trial. You may have some modulation plugins, you may have delays that you already love. Are these going to beat it? Does this make sense with your brain? Is this the kind of thing where the way my brain works is I just go audition and go, oh, I like that, that's pretty good, then tweak it. I love the idea of just being able to go through and choose which ones I want to use. The Jet was really good, and so was the BBD on the vocal. Like, here's the Jet again.
About angels, I haven't met one yet. It's been the end for ages.
So I think for a lot of people, this might be familiar territory. You're a pedal fanatic, you're a guitar player. And for others, you might just love it because it's really, really easily laid out, because guitar pedals are supposed to be that way. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You look down and you've got to be able to like get a knob and a button and a whatever and select it really, really quickly. So it's almost like the GUI, the GUI, is already pretty straightforward. I don't think that the only thing I didn't really kind of play with is this trails thing here. I don't know if there's an expression kind of thing available on all this kind of stuff. Who knows? I haven't really got to it, but it's probably there just to look like the pedal. A tap tempo, saving a preset here makes perfect sense. So there's not really anything here that isn't straightforward, and that is probably another good thing about it, because as I said, if you're moving quickly and you're trying to come up with something good and sounds great, you just want to open up the plugin and get a sound that makes sense to you and then tweak it from there in a few seconds and off you go. The keyboard thing that we worked on straight away was a massive improvement and made me think about that part in a completely different way. Now it's kind of carrying the verses where before it wasn't. The reverb guitar with the auto wire in it and the delay was absolutely superb. That's what these kinds of plugins do for me. They keep me interested and they take simple ideas like kind of guitar parts and make them more fun and more ear candy-ish. So once again, try out the 7-day free trial. Of course, if you buy either of these pedals, you get the plug-in version of the pedal for free when you buy it. So thanks ever so much. We're giving away 3 of each of these plugins. Enter down below. Thank you ever so much, Wampler, for letting us do that, giving away 3. And so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios. Let us know how you get on. Try the 7-day free trial and then just let us know what you think. Do they beat out existing plugins that you already have? Are they simpler to use, easier to use? Let us know. Thanks, everyone. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, goodbye.